Welcome back to Chris Greenhill's Garage. I'm Chris. Not with me today is Chris Jr. I believe he's at work today because I think it's a weekend. Don't hold me to that because I work overnights. Pretty sure it's a Saturday. I think he's at work, not at school, but I am alone. I am here today in our 1982 Ford Mustang GT that I affectionately call the Piece of Staying, the POS. Junior doesn't like that name, but it's pretty apt for this car. If you're not familiar, this is a car that he and I got as his first real project car a little over 2 years ago, and we've built it up pretty much from scrap to just about a daily driver. I am here today to make another attempt to fix one of our biggest, longest lasting, lingering issues with this car, and that's the rotational vibration and sound in the drivetrain somewhere. When we got this car, it had a slight wobble vibration sound in the rear end. I mean, it sounded like most of the cars I've ever put together with aftermarket gears. It came with 373 gears, everything else is stock, and it just had that light hum as you drove it. That got a lot worse when we gutted the interior a year ago. It's been a year, man. I'm really bad at this. But anyway, but since we gutted the interior, it has gotten louder since, and louder again, and louder again. And it's clear we have what I call a rotational vibration. Something is going around and getting louder and worse and making a sound as everything in the rear end turns over. I've had this rear end apart 3 times now. One time I pretty much just inspected the thing, maybe 4 times. Another time I was convinced it was the axle bearings that went out, replaced them. Then I opened up the rear end and didn't really find anything wrong with it, took apart the rear end. And this last time, 2 weeks ago, I actually rebuilt the rear end properly. We measured it, replaced everything, put it all back together, still makes the same noise. This thing has had new brake drums. I've checked the axles for straightness. The axle tubes appear to be straight. Can't figure it out. One thing I noticed last time I was under the car that I hadn't seen before was there's a big dent in the drive shaft. And it also looks like the drive shaft has previously been balanced out by a machine shop. It had added on weights to it, and it appears we might be missing some weights. So whether the weights just flung themselves off or something hit under the car, to my knowledge, we haven't hit anything, but I'm hoping something's wrong with the drive shaft because I can't figure anything else out. So in this video, I'm backed up to Project White Trash, my 1988 Mustang. I'm going to jack them both up in the air, and I'm going to try to swap drive shafts and see if anything gets any better. If it does, then I've got a line on an aluminum drive shaft for this car, and I'm going to go pick that up this weekend. And hopefully this is going to be a 5 or 10 minute video of me just swapping drive shafts and everything's miraculously better, and I go get a new drive shaft. Probably not going to work out that way, but that would be nice. But let's get to it. Both cars are up in the air back to back. Let's get this party started. Yeah, this vibration is pretty brutal under here. There's Loctite on the threads, and there's gasket seal on the back of the threads to hold it in place, and this is already hand loose. That is just brutal amounts of vibration back here. I actually spent the money and put Loctite on these threads. So 3 of them appear, nope, 2 of them are hand loose. That's insane. This drive shaft is out. 2 of the bolts were about to come out. 2 of them were rock solid and tight. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Here's the front snout of this drive shaft. I was afraid this was going to be grooved, like the rear bushing in the transmission was out. It got mild markings on it, but it ain't nothing that catches the fingernail, and it feels pretty good. I have no idea how old the U-joints in this are, but they feel perfectly fine front and back. Yeah. No movement, no give in the U-joints, no shaking, so I don't think it's a U-joint problem. Here's that dent. Here are these added on weights. I don't know where it was. There was a spot somewhere, maybe here, where I thought there might have been another weight they got flung off. Oh, it's dented on this side and this side. A couple of pretty decent dents. So we're going to get this drive shaft swapped out and see if that helps anything. I don't think I rebuild rear ends as well as I used to. Even with all this slack and rattle in the back of White Trash's, it never whined as bad as Piece of Stang's rear end. And this was rebuilt in the 90s. Here is Project White Trash's drive shaft. It's a little bit different than the one that's in that car. Again, U-joints look good. These are at least 1998 vintage, but there's no slop or play in them or anything. There are no dents in this drive shaft. There are some added on weights, but I think that was factory. I don't think this drive shaft has ever been in any kind of machine shop or had any work done to it. Here you can see the difference in drive shaft. This one bottlenecks down a little, goes from a larger, like 3.5 inch diameter, maybe to a 2 3/4 or 3 inch, and this one is straight all the way down. Oh, that one bottlenecks on both ends. So I don't know what this drive shaft is out of. Man, it'd be great if this simple, easy, quick fix did it all. All right, the new drive shaft is in and tightened down with Loctite. I can't remember what the different bolt holes are for in the rear end. The old ones are marked. So I decided to go ahead and swap to the other set. And I noticed immediately the bolts are 10 times tighter in this than in this. I could hand tight them in this set. When I switched to this set, I had to really torque on them with a wrench. So maybe that'll help a little bit. Also, before I can drive this thing, I've discovered a new problem. My new tailpipe that I made is hitting the chassis and the control arm at ride height. I had a new vibration in the rear end that I didn't think was driveline related. I couldn't figure out. Yeah, my new tailpipe is just riding on the suspension. So I've got to yank this tailpipe, either get rid of it or cut it and fix it. And unfortunately, I have to do that before I can test drive it. This one, perfectly fine. This one, pure crap. That sucks. I was really proud of these tailpipes too, but it's got to go for now. This is what happens when you mount your exhaust with the rear end dangling in the air. I had the car supported and the rear end hanging to give me room to work. When I put it on the ground, this is what happens. So I should have jacked it all up, put it all together. I would have seen this before. Well, I figured out what I did wrong with my tailpipe on this side. That side's great. This side, it's the angle where I cut and welded this in. It's angled too far down. When you put the exhaust hanger on, the whole thing binds up and it goes up and hits. But when you let it hang naturally and let the exhaust hanger do its job, the tailpipe sits where it's supposed to, but it also sits 6 inches low here. So I'm gonna have to yank them off and then I'll have to come back later and fix it. This one's perfect. It's an hour later. You missed one hell of a fight. It has taken me this long to get this tailpipe out. This thing was in here wedged so tight it was unreal. I was trying desperately to get it apart without breaking a brake line or something, which I barely managed to do. But anyway, both tailpipes are off now. I got to get them out of here, and we're back to the dumped lifestyle of open mufflers. Tailpipe tailpipes are off. Time to drive it, see if there's any difference. I haven't even left the house, and it's already too loud because I'm too old. Whoa, man, that's rough. Jeez. I don't know if you can hear me. I can't really hear me. Some of the vibration through the chassis is better from that exhaust pipe, but it definitely didn't all go away. I don't know what is vibrating back there. I can't hear it as well as I could before with no tailpipes, but I can definitely feel it. There's definitely vibration through the drivetrain still. I can't tell if it's better or worse. It doesn't feel as bad, but also you can't hear it over the exhaust. So I don't think I really fixed much. I can feel the shifter vibrating just a little, which is a new thing from about a week ago. One of the things I was trying to fix, but haven't. Came to the local auto parts store. I'm gonna get some drive shaft bolts or white trash, and might see if they've got some cheap exhaust turn downs that I can just tack weld or bolt onto these mufflers, because oof. They had my drive shaft bolts, but they did not have the exhaust turn downs I was looking for. That's okay, I'll just fix the tailpipe soon. Based on the camera mount and the rear view mirror, we've definitely got some gnarly vibration going on. Alright, the next step in my Master Genius plan is to put the weld drag lights and the drag radials and everything off white trash back on this thing, because I've had these tires and rims mounted and balanced before, but they might be flat spotted. I don't know how old they are. Ooh, whatever rotational vibration we've got, getting pretty bad at low speed. We're really kind of bouncing up and down. That's bad enough. It almost feels like a tire separating and coming apart. I'm back home. All these tires on these Cobra R's are 4 years old, or almost 4 years old next month. They're October 2021. They're match set. They all look fine. No visible issues. That doesn't mean they're round. It doesn't mean they're not flat spotted, but there's nothing visibly obviously wrong with them. Future Chris here. Yeah, I'm dumb. We all know I'm dumb. I'm proving I'm dumb again. Yeah, so like 9 or 10 months ago, we put the weld drag lights on this car, and it fixed quite a bit of the vibration and the wobble. And I can't remember why I put the Cobra R's back on it. I think Junior wanted those tires back on it, or those wheels rather, but we put them on, I think, with the intention of getting new tires for the Cobra R's, and never did. So yeah, that's part of the vibration. We've been here and done this before. And I just realized I don't think I can run my welds on this car, because we put those stupid Moroso wheel studs on the back of this thing. I think they're going to be too long. All I have are the closed cap weld lug nuts. Yeah, I don't think these will go on those lugs. Let's find out. Yeah, I think these extra long lugs are going to hit the tip before these things bottom out. We'll try it. That is completely bottomed out. I'm not sure if that's going to work with the wheel on there or not. I don't think that's going to happen. Nope, not going to work at all. Damn it. Back to the parts store and the air-conditioned car. I could not get these locally at all, not open-ended anyway. The ones online, Weld Racing, are outrageously expensive. I'm not doing that. And they won't be here for like a week, which does not do me any good. So I'm going to cut the tips off these things, because I have like an hour of free time. I have another car to work on, and Of course, it's my day off, so it is gonna rain. Just for fun, I tried to take the red car to the parts store earlier and it was vibrating like crazy. All of a sudden, out of the blue, I gave it a little gas and something popped, and now it's about to shake itself apart. I gotta figure out what that is. I found the problem with the red car. The U-joint completely blew out. So it is out of commission. I wasn't sure how far I had to cut into these things. Obviously further than that. Good times. You have got to be kidding me. I thought these things went all the way to the tip. What is going on here? I have to drill these things out. Jeez. I managed to finally drill through the tip of this thing. That thing is a lot thicker and more robust than I thought it was. Now I got to get a bigger drill bit and ream that out, but this is going to be a lot of work. Well, that worked. Entirely way too much work for one, and I've got 7 more to go, and I'm about to get wet. But I mean, it technically worked. Oh God, this sucks. Here we go with the rain. So I got to move all the electrical power tools and get everything inside. And that's probably going to be it for the day. Another day wasted. It's looking like I might be done for the day. Hopefully I can get something done tomorrow. I've got 2 cars down now. Well, this isn't good. I am missing drive shaft bolts under Project White Trash. 2 of them are backed all the way out. 2 of them are gone. That ain't good. These were just hand tight though. I just have it here to pull it in and out of the garage. It hasn't been on the road, but apparently that was enough to ditch 2 bolts. That isn't good. It's the next day. It's been raining all day. We've got a few minutes reprieve here, but it only goes about 5 minutes without raining, so it doesn't look like I'm getting anything done this week. Hopefully the parts will come in and I can finish all of this next week. An update. It is 4 days later. I did order new open-ended weld lug nuts for this car. They're now 2 days overdue. Not sure where they are. For the red car, I do have 2 new U-joints. Now I need to get under there and get that drive shaft off. All right, here we go. It's out. Man, those drive shaft bolts took their job seriously. Between the Loctite and the gasket seal, they did not want to come out. Shaft is really smooth. There's no grooves in it. So that's good. Here's that offending U-joint. Now to get this thing apart. Feel pretty stupid now. Just the other day, I was under the car saying the U-joints were fine. Well, at least they felt fine on the car. There's no slack in it, so. Ooh. Really wanted Junior to be here for this. He's never messed with U-joints before, but that couldn't happen. He's in school, and I'm alone, and this car has to be done today or tomorrow for a very special reason. If you've never pulled U-joints, all you do is gotta squeeze these 2 together and pop them out. And sometimes it takes a couple of attempts, but it is not difficult. There we go. Just pops right out. And despite this thing just about being ready to fall apart in my hand, it still won't come out. So I'm gonna have to get a hammer and drive this thing back to take this broken cap off. This isn't good. This rubber balance ring on this, I just moved the drive shaft a little bit and this thing slid off. The rubber in it is all shot. I can't remember how important these things are to AOD cars. I'm guessing pretty important. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. It has been entirely too long with entirely way too much hammering. That one side was moving freely, this side won't. So I'm going to encourage it to move. I I have made this thing on fire quite a lot, and it is not coming out. I am not having a good time. The rubber ring removed itself while I was hammering on the U-joints, so I think it's just going to stay off and hope for the best. It took more than twice as long as I thought it would take to get this first side off, but I finally got it driven through. I am exhausted. So much hammering, so much heat. The inside of these U-joints is nothing but rust. There's no grease, there's nothing left. They're just completely rusted out. Not sure if I'd mentioned it earlier, but the rubber balance ring on the front yoke of the drive shaft removed itself while I was hammering on the U-joints. All that junk down there is what's left of what used to be rubber. I had hoped that the rear U-joint would throw itself on the ground and surrender. That has not happened yet, so it's torch time. Finally. Good God. This one took even longer than the front one. You've got to be kidding me. I'm out of grease for my grease gun. Oh man, this sucks. I got to go buy some, but I've got an event at my daughter's school, so I don't have time right now. I was hoping to just get this thrown in. Part of me really wants to just pack this out by hand with grease and call it good enough, but I really want this done correctly, and I really don't want to mess with them again for 30 years. I managed to reload my grease gun, and I went ahead and packed out the bearings full of grease, but now I've definitely got to go. I'm back. It's late in the evening. I'm almost at daylight. While I was gone, my new Weld Racing lugs showed up for the car. I'm not going to get to mess with them today. Hopefully tomorrow. Let's get this over with. New U-joints are usually pretty easy to work with, so hopefully this will go smooth. I am starting to think these U-joints are oversized. I've tried C-clamps, I've tried hammering. I cannot get both sides of these to seat at once. If you get one clip in, the other's several millimeters from seating. So I'm starting to think these are not the right size for this drive shaft. Really thinking these are oversized. I have this hammered as far down as I'll go, trying to take it back out, and neither side will come off. As is often the case, I was the cause of all the problems. I had way too much grease in these things. I had to unpack them just to get them to seat. So once I did that, they went in okay. After screwing this up about 10 times, I finally have it together. Nice and smooth this way, a little janky this way. I'm not sure why, but anyway, got it together. I'm gonna repack it with grease since I had to take it apart and take most of the grease out of it to get it to seat. And then I'm out of daylight, so I'll do the other one tomorrow and get it back together. After screwing this up about 10 times, I finally have it together. Nice and smooth this way, a little janky this way. I'm not sure why, but anyway, got it together. I'm gonna repack it with grease since I had to take it apart and take most of the grease out of it to get it to seat. And then I'm out of daylight, so I'll do the other one tomorrow and get it back together. It is early the next morning. I had to take kids to school, and now I'm back at working on the car. I should reasonably be able to get this back together within the next 2 hours, which means hopefully I'll actually have it done tonight. Hello, Mama Cat. Going to go ahead and learn a lesson from yesterday's mistake and remove all this grease from these grease caps so I can actually get these caps to seat. When I compress these caps, you can tell there's just a little bit of extra grease in there. I went ahead and removed the threaded input port or whatever, and when you squeeze the caps, all the grease comes flying out. This took 2 freaking minutes to get together by doing it the right way. Look at all that extra grease that came flying out of there. This is together in 5 minutes. However, one of the clips, I just can't quite get it to seat. I don't know if you can see that little bitty gap right here, right there. There's too much grease in this. I didn't get enough grease out of it. I thought enough would come out by taking the threaded cap off, but it did not. I need to remove the U-joint, get some grease out of there so that'll seat properly. It's about 10 minutes later. Got this fully installed. Feels great. Repacked it full of grease, and now it's time to install it. All right, this one's back on the ground and ready for test driving, but I've got to move back to this car and get them both ready for test driving before I go and test drive one. One down, 3 to go. So I just realized, well, I have the welds on the back of the black car. I've got to pull the white car out to be able to get to the front tire up there to swap them. So I've got to get the Cobra R's on the white car, get the white car on the ground, pull it out to do the front tire swap. I've got to clean up my mess in between the two cars. I forgot I have to put a drive shaft in this to move it, but at least I have brand new drive shaft bolts for it. I cannot get this drive shaft to go in this car. It is too long. I'm guessing it's because of that SN95 T5 over there. It's not good. I think maybe it would go on if I lower the rear end, sag it down. I'll have to give it a try, but it is bottomed out the transmission and will not go on here. Nope, that did not work at all. No matter what I do, this drive shaft is not compatible with this car. So now I have to swap this one and the one in the black car. Damn it. I went ahead and packed out all 4 U-joints on both these drive shafts with grease while I could. They're all pretty dry, so hopefully that'll let these U-joints last a little bit longer. I know that they all need swapped out, but that's going to be a while. Finally, all 3 cars are on the ground. Still got work to do. Got to move this one so I can swap tires with the other car. Let's see if we can get this old gal moving twice in the same week. Come on, baby. Oh man, the battery's completely dead. That's not good. I had to push white trash outside. Means I don't get the picture that I was wanting. The 3 of them nose out. I was really hoping for an awesome picture there, but it didn't happen. Anyway, I got the trickle charger on it, and whatever reason it's dead after being disconnected for a week. White trash has the Cobra R's. Piece of Stang has the welds, and all 3 cars are on the ground. And hopefully the black car and the red car are ready to test drive. I'm gonna go clean up a little bit because you see, today I don't have a backup ride. I don't have an emergency pickup if a car breaks down. So I got to test drive that one and hope for the best. So I'm going to go clean up, change clothes, get something comfortable on, and I guess I'm going to test drive the cars within like 5 miles of the house in case I have to walk home. All right, well, I decided to keep my dirty, nasty clothes on in case I'm going to walk and get sweaty and dirty. Just wear this stuff. Got to drive the red car first. It's the most important car, and I can't believe this is weird, driving an air-conditioned Mustang. I don't know if I'll ever get used to this. So far, so good in the neighborhood. There's 70 miles per hour, smooth as silk. In fact, I just realized something. We've apparently had symptoms of the U-joint going out for a while, because when we used to change gears, there'd always be a subtle little clunk, and I thought it was in the transmission. It must have been that U-joint, because we don't have any vibration, any sound. All those problems we've been having lately were probably that one U-joint. Now it's smooth as silk. Shifting smooth as silk, accelerating great. Nice and easy. I'm gonna get this thing home before it changes its mind and leaves me stranded. Then I'm gonna go test drive the black car. And then this evening, I'm gonna take this to pick up some car parts. Probably put it on 65, 70 mile round trip just to really dial it in and make sure everything's gonna go all right. I'll have an extra ride to pick me up this evening, so that won't be that big of a deal. Rear view mirror fell off the convertible the other day, and Junior and my wife called me and told me about it. I said, okay, we'll go get a glue kit and go fix it. They did not. So I'm going to test drive the black car down to the store and get some windshield glue. All right. Oh my God. So loud. This video was going to be about me trying to fix the rear end vibration and changing out and fixing the tailpipes. That didn't happen. Definitely still have some wobble in the rear end. Something's got to be wrong in the axle tubes or something. I don't get it. It is better. Now the actual tire vibration, the tire wobble going down the road is better, but the rear end sound is still there and the transmission is still vibrating now. I don't get it. I think we must have synchros going on in the transmission. I think it might just be time, but it is definitely smoother. There's definitely some flat spots in those Cobra R's and those tires. Under light acceleration, it's making some noise. Under cruising, it's fine. It doesn't make any sound when you let off the throttle, but under acceleration, it's definitely whining in the rear end. Coming to a stop at an intersection, we've still got some up and down. There's got to be something wrong with the axle tubes on this rear end, or we've got a bent axle and I just can't tell it. I've tried to compare it to a straight edge. They look straight, but something isn't right in this thing. Good old 15-inch drag radials. I think they hook up worse than those old hard tires on the Cobra R's. I just broke the drag radials loose in third gear. For reference, it's still before noon, probably 11 o'clock, and it's probably only 80 degrees, but the tires and the pavement should be warm enough not to do that. Something is smoking. Oh man, I think we're pouring transmission fluid. I'm not sure if that's oil or transmission fluid. That isn't good. I think it's transmission fluid coming out the rear seal of the transmission. The transmission was a little low the other day, so I added some fluid to it, and I think I overfilled it, so we're pouring transmission fluid out the back seal of the transmission, which isn't good, but not much I can do about it right now. I'm not home. Alright, the sound hasn't gotten any better, but the car is definitely smoother at highway speed. There is less wobble, less front end wobble, which tells me that those front tires were as bad as the rear tires. So the steering wheel is nice and straight and smooth. A lot of humming out of the rear end, but it is what it is. The black car got me home okay. Just a little bit of smoke. It's gonna have to wait for another day for me to put it up in the air and check and make sure that's transmission fluid though. Oh well, I had fun. Time to get this windshield mounted again. You can actually tell this has been a problem in the past because there's two different spots where it's been glued on. I got to figure out which one is the best and get that lined up and figure out where it needs to go to glue it down. All right, gotta let that dry a little while before I use the mirror. So far, so good. I'm gonna let the mirror dry. I've got to move this car, pull in a non-Mustang car for an oil change. Ugh, working on non-Mustangs sucks. Working on Mustangs sucks, but working on non-Mustangs is a whole nother level of suck. Anyway, I'll be back in a few hours for a longer test drive of the red convertible. Hopefully it goes well. I'm headed out for my longer test drive, pick up my daughter and go run an errand. But now that it's nearly 100 degrees, now the air conditioner has decided it doesn't want to blow anymore. Good times. All right, I have youngest and we are headed to get some stuff and run some errands, and we are in the red convertible. The air conditioner is blowing now, blowing cold. The top is up, and the car is driving smooth. We're doing 70, and well, the mirror is back on, and everything is working. So I'm happy about that. All right, well, the air conditioner has quit blowing cold again. It's had enough of this 100-degree Texas weather, so the top's going down. Otherwise, the car's doing great. All right, that's it. The car survived the round trip, and the round trip was to buy more car parts, of course, because that's the #1 errand that I run. Those car parts were supposed to be purchased days ago when all these problems started. I could never go pick them up, and they were supposed to be in this video. But anyway, that'll be later on. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Have a great day.